Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Oilers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game, there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. The rushing numbers for Fournette from last week, 16 carries, 60 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
They'll run it again with Fournette. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. Over the middle, complete. It's Cole. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll take it down to the 30-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Again, it's Fournette. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And now a look at the offense for Jacksonville.
Let's take a look at tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins, or ASJ as his friends and all announcers like to call him because it's a whole lot easier. Second tight end drafted in 2014, but production was really lacking until 2017 with the New York Jets. Had 50 catches, which was more in his 2+ combined years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Field goal forthcoming for Stephen Hauschka. From the left hash, this from 46. And Hauschka's kick is good. And the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. So our initial drive this afternoon results in 3. Not sure that that's a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
You're exactly right about that. I love how you framed it, right? Not sure it's a statement, but at the same time, you're putting something out there, aren't you? Letting them know, hey, we came to play today.
Now after the made field goal, Hauschka back out onto the field to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their 4th-year quarterback from Oregon, Marcus Mariota.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. A first down throw for Mariota. And incomplete to open things up. Trying to get it there to Martavis Bryant. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Mariota. Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And this one will be brought back to the 22. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were excellent a week ago in that victory over the Colts.
I don't know what the actual percentages are. I don't know the analytics on when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches have always told me, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, here's Fournette. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
On every snap, the defense is trying to establish who they are. But on 3rd and short, that's really when you put it out there and tell people who you are. And that's exactly what they did. For the offense, they're looking at their offensive line and saying, guys, where are you? We need you on those plays.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Marcus Mariota and the offense heading back out for their next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for them, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
First down, Mariota. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. And time to take a look at the Jaguar defense.
I want to highlight Telvin Smith, only the 3rd linebacker in Jacksonville Jaguar history to make a Pro Bowl, but not for that reason. When he came out of Florida State with his build, many were projecting him as a safety in the NFL, around 215 pounds. He's got a little bit bigger, but his ability to run and hit and make plays has made him one of the most valuable linebackers in the NFL. They made the right choice leaving him at that spot.
Mariota sets up the screen to Lewis. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air.
It's caught inside the 25. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10, all the way down at the 21-yard line. Mariota now to throw on 1st down. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. DeJuan Smoot able to drop him for a loss of 4.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
On 3rd down, Mariota. And he fires one, but incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Suckup will put this one right through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So if you like field goals, you've come to the right spot. We've had 3 so far.
But this is a football game, right?
It is.
You like that one, huh? You like where I went with that? How about that one?
I like it.
Okay, but hey, let's face it. In this game right now, both defenses have responded well. They're trying to hold the line on this. You just wonder if anyone can break through with a touchdown and put some pressure on their opposition.
The Jaguars getting set to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. He saw the middle was closed, tried to bounce it outside. That didn't work either.
Very rarely can you bounce something that's designed to go into the middle all the way to the outside and expect to get help and get there. Usually all the blocking is there. In this case, blocking was in the middle, bounced up, stacked up. Now he was outflanked when he tried to get outside.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And this will be taken at the 13. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Houston. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November. already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. It's a 3-point game here early. EA Sports NFL Sunday return following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by...
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the hometown guys with a football here to begin this second quarter of play. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Now Mariota. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They run. This is Lewis. And at the 42-yard line here, brought down there. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Right back to him on first down. Fighting him off. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Second down, Mariota. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And not what he was hoping for there as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that first down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. Bortles now on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play his own defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Bortles going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he finds Safarian-Jenkins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now out comes Houston. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Now a first carry for their fullback.
I don't know about you, partner, but on 2nd and inches, a lot of the times I'm leery about the offensive guys thinking about taking a shot downtown. Instead, they just hand it to the big man and let him rumble forward for a first down.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Lewis. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
They talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Mariota from the gun on third down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Bryant. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. Mariota now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. Going deep here for Bryant. Officially a minute 54 to go in this first half. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Mariota, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. This is taken at about the 14. And now running right through it. Great coverage there. Holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Bortles now on first down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Adoree Jackson right there, step for step in coverage.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
Back to the air on second down. It's Bortles. And that is incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Bortles again. Over the middle, complete. It's Cole. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Offense.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. To throw is Mariota. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. A good pickup there at 22. Mariota on 1st down. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Mariota now on 2nd down. Able to shake him off. Flush. And the pressure gets to him again. Calais Campbell in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. Final play of the half here, Mariota. He's going to float this one deep right side. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis, where it was the visiting Raiders who were able to come away with the road victory. Derek Carr, leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, let's head to New Jersey. The Jets at home at MetLife Stadium. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Antonio Brown up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Finally, let's get down to Houston. Check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Deshaun Watson leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. In the game you've been watching, it was Blake Bortles with a strong first half throwing the football. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in this second half. And some room to maneuver. And he'll weave his way up, all the way up, a few yards shy of midfield. Time to look now with our spotlight at the quarterback, Marcus Mariota. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Now it's a bootleg with Mariota. And Walker with it over the middle. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, Mariota. And complete to the tight end Walker, right side. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Again, it's Lewis. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Malik Jackson there to make the stop.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now Mariota. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there. Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Now they'll throw it. Bortles. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Bortles on the give to Fournette. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. Left side complete. Seferian-Jenkins. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. To Fournette. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Daquan Jones in on the tackle there.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Throwing his Bortles on third down. This is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to second and goal. Now Bortles throwing on second down. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
They'll try to punch it in before that. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up fourth down.
Another stop on third down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And it's a fake. He's going to throw it. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. Well, that was an intriguing call. You got a chip shot field goal. Tight game. Why not just take the 3?
I know that not all the old rules apply in today's NFL, and in fact, I'd love to have an analytics coach here with us right now to say why that was probably a good play. I don't know if the analytics coach would have said that. That seemed like a bad play. Take the points there and move on.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Following the interception here, Mariota. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Mariota now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. This is Lewis. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Calais Campbell on the stop.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Second down, Mariota. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Off the play fake, Mariota. And that is incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. This is taken at the 18. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try to keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. They swallowed him up. Now Bortles. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They're looking for a spark defensively. When he went for that ball, probably thought he had a chance at the pick. Now, remember, they had 2 last week in the win, obviously losing here.
Well, you talked about looking for a spark, and the best sparks are when you make big plays for your team, and he had that opportunity there. Couldn't haul it in, but that doesn't mean they're going to blow it off at all. They figure if they can get one of those takeaways, they can spark their team to a win.
The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Stopped short of the 25, but that second effort got him a couple extra. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. And he is going to be hit and taken down. Bortles sacked.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Following the sack, 3rd and long for Bortles and the Jags. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call it on that.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They try again with Lewis. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. A first down throw for Mariota. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bryant. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Mariota now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. First down. Mariota sets up the screen to Lewis. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it up, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. And he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The offense on 3rd down, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And he's kicked in, Corey Davis. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Mariota going to bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Now a second down throw for Mariota. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a nice pickup there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy. Couldn't get in there, though. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Suckup will put this one right through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me.
I was.
It sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And now out come the Jags. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw, Bortles. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first, it's good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Now Bortles. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags.
Partner, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
380.
Here's a give to Fournette. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Fournette on the counter. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward. Because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I was going to say could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts.
Let's go, let's go.
Now Leonard Fournette, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 8. A handoff, Fournette right left. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And Hauschka's kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. He'll look to throw. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he's brought down after a good gain. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Jacksonville, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.